Little Caesars changed the game, bro.
They did.
Little Caesars changed. That's the most shot of shit.
Hey, Chewy, blood. They want you on the podcast, bro. Look, he Mexican, bro. You gotta put him on.
Am I interrupting your depression? I'm sorry.
This week's episode of The Voice Party is brought to you by Big Boy Wraps. Get your car wrapped by some of the most experienced and skilled in the Bay. Big Boy Wraps, where the big boys play.
Yeah, that's record. Welcome to the Voice Party, everybody. I'm your host, Phil Spruner. I got all my co-hosts here. I'm trying to convince them to vote Republican. There's not enough Republicans at this table, and we're discussing the power crisis. Corday, your thoughts?
He's trying to tell me to vote Republican because what the grid said, what Gavin Newsom said, is turn off your power system and things like that. But I informed him that in Texas, they were saying turn off your same power and things like that. And Texas is super Republican. Places like Dallas, Arlington, San Antonio, and all those kind of places. I think Jerry Jones even told him to turn off the power system and stuff like that. What about you, JD?
May I interject for a minute?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so also when they had that winter, the snowstorm.
The snowstorm, exactly, right?
They shot their prices by 700%.
700%.
Who's in charge in Texas?
Exactly, Republicans. Not only that, did you know that we live on 3 grids, power grids, right? So it's like the West Coast, East Coast, and then Texas has their own power grid. And when that shit fucking happened, guess who didn't back up the shit? Who was telling them to back it up? So just in case if a huge winter storm would come, it would knock out a fuck ton of power. The Republicans.
The Republicans. Indeed. With that being said,
Look, I'm not saying it's the answer. I'm saying it's an answer.
With that being said, please, we have a very special guest. Please introduce yourself.
Yeah, my name is David Dominguez, and I only vote for people named Bush and Clinton. And since there's no Bushes or Clintons to vote for, I'm not voting.
So you didn't vote for Obama?
No, I voted for Obama.
Okay.
Did you?
That was the exception.
You look like you voted for Obama, but you regretted it.
I didn't regret it, but I was disappointed.
Why?
Because, well, I don't blame Obama, though. I think the whole thing is just the show.
Oh, okay.
Up top.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you're a conspiracy theorist.
I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I think at best our government is incompetent or corrupt.
It's all in God's hands.
And I don't go just because you vote for this person or that person. I think the same thing happens. They just switch the colors up.
They've all been bought.
They just switch the colors up.
I say it all the
It's
time.
mostly white.
They switch the colors.
It's mostly white.
It's red to blue, you know.
Oh, okay. Those colors.
Good
The
cop,
white
bad
people,
cop.
listen. White people let a lot of colored people up in the government, and more than they probably had to. So I mean, I think you should give them credit. You know, even if they are mostly white.
Well, you was the one saying switch the colors up. That's what I was just trying to get you to say.
Phil, you got something to say about that?
I don't see how anyone would want to vote for Gavin Newsom after this terrible job he's done these past 4 years. We tried to impeach him. That's how bad it was. We didn't win, but we tried.
You sound like a fucking cult leader.
That's it was that, or I was like, who does he sound like? He sound like a caricature, not a preacher, a character.
How you gonna tell people they have to buy electric cars and then tell them you can't charge them? It's too much of a strain on the grid.
Now he definitely does sound like a preacher. Exactly.
The ban on the idea that they're gonna sell only electric cars. It seems.
Was it like 2033 or something like that?
It seems privileged.
Yeah.
Though.
Yeah.
It's like.
Yeah, for those who can afford an electric car.
Yeah, because the grid's still powered by fossil fuels, no?
Yeah, the grid. It's not like it's windmills and solar panels. They're burning fossil fuels to generate the green energy.
They have hamsters running wheels.
No, it's actually fueled by dead babies from all the abortions.
Okay. All right.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
Which is why they're still legal here.
Yes, that's why they want to keep doing them. All of them, everywhere.
That's why Texas suffered in the fucking the storm there. They don't have.
They're gonna start in California. They're gonna start paying women to have abortions. They're gonna be like, we need more.
We need more babies to
We need more dead
sacrifice to the
babies.
god of
So
energy.
This took a turn.
we'll pay you $200.
Corey, you got something to add about that?
Well, it's the month of October that this
No, I do not.
hearing is very appropriate.
I'm just saying.
Corey just got this look like, and this is why my mama don't watch the podcast.
No, this is like I'm not even cancel. I ain't chiming on this.
Oh shit! What's up, man? How you doing, bro?
I'm okay.
Yeah.
Sound like it.
I'm
We've talked about doing this for a while.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, I'm all right. I'm just a little tired. I woke up to go do something else, and then that got canceled.
You had a date?
JD, no, I was gonna go shoot at an archery range.
Shoot.
He's an archer, bro.
Oh, okay.
Fucking Zelda over here.
Oh, okay.
I wish. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna ride my bike with my bow, and so I can just start popping off.
Gotcha.
Anyways,
Are you trying to do the Joe Rogan thing and go hunt elk and shit?
I mean, I don't consider it a Joe Rogan thing, but I do. I do want to kill some stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I want to.
That's a good reason to get in to archery.
Well, sorry, I'm simplifying it. I mean, I want to kill what I eat, and I eat meat. So then I feel like it's kind of like it ain't right to just eat meat and never
not
killed,
kill it,
and never killed
not
anything.
get the joy
I
of
mean, that's why I'm
murder.
vegan, because I don't kill nothing.
But you've eaten meat in your life, right?
Yeah.
He just ate
Okay,
wings
so-
right now.
So you,
Vegan wings, dude. That's vegan wings, yeah.
so you've already benefited from the death of an animal.
Well, I've come from a family of farmers, so that definitely, like, you know.
I just think you owe the universe something, right?
Well, my grandpa was killing it, and that's what we was eating what they killed. So yeah.
So it's not fair to eat it if you don't kill it.
I think a little bit. Yeah. I don't think you appreciate it. You know, I think that's why everybody just eats fast food, like trash meat.
Fast food is trash.
So when I was a
Yeah.
kid, I helped kill 6 chickens, right?
Yeah.
And I was so traumatized that I couldn't eat the chicken.
Yeah.
So I guess someone else took my.
Until you got hungry, and then you would have ate the.
Well, I named the chickens. So
Yeah, exactly.
no, but it is. I mean, that was a long time ago. But you know, I helped kill them. Actually, I think I shared this story before. I saw they like you grab the legs and the head, and then you
Yeah.
and it sounds like
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
it's quick. But I
Super
fucking
quick, yeah.
went like this, and the head was in my hand.
For fun?
No.
What are you doing?
This is a traumatic experience.
Yeah, no. But then
is.
I was just like, yeah, I don't think I want to eat that shit.
The craziest. Oh, go ahead.
But I was also young, so you know.
Wait, but then you ate chicken eventually, right?
Like probably that same day.
So then what?
What did you name?
It's just because I killed them, bro. Like, you know?
You didn't eat
gills.
the ones you.
Huh?
Did you eat the ones you killed?
No.
I guess he's just JD, just like traumatized, just like slowly eating the chicken.
Like, I will not betray my friends.
I think it was seeing them alive and then seeing them dead and then skinning them.
Yeah.
It's
a whole process.
Plucking the feathers and,
Yeah.
and cleaning out the guts.
Yeah.
Cutting the feet off. I think something about the feet that makes me, you know, because I've eaten chicken feet before, but just seeing the feet walking and then
Seeing Fred's feet, walking on the dirt and shit like that. Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of dirt on
and
the
then
feet.
taking off that little layer of skin on the feet.
Yeah. There's like, okay.
And then cleaning the guts out and seeing like one of them had an egg in there.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Speaking of the
Did you eat the,
Exactly.
Did you eat the egg? You gotta eat the.
yeah, I did. Not that egg, but
I just think there's.
I see what you're saying.
I just think there's worse lives that like animals can live than with us, right? Like the chicken probably had a decent life with you, like he was protected, and then you put it down pretty quick. And then
those were we got them from somewhere specifically for killing. Yeah, that's not the same as hunting though.
No, it's not. But
Cause like, what if this deer is out there having a great time?
oh, they are. They're having a blast.
Yeah.
But have you ever seen like the ways they can go though? I mean, an arrow through the heart.
That seems
Or-
horrible.
What do you mean?
How
I
quick
mean,
is
not
that?
horrible, but
The arrow through the heart for
Yeah.
a deer.
isn't the lung
Where's the heart?
you want to go to?
I think you're trying to hit the heart.
Okay.
Well, you're trying to hit, I think, any vital
the
stuff,
head.
but I don't know enough yet.
Okay.
But
I would game for the throat.
you've seen you've seen
target.
documentaries and stuff. I mean, there's
I watched hundreds of hunting videos. Like I think I'd enjoy it too. It's just I'm just trying to give you a hard time.
No, yeah.
'Cause
I
you're-
just think there's much worse ways than that.
Oh yeah,
can go.
a fucking bear will eat them alive.
For sure.
And I've seen videos
Or they
where
get-
they're still alive.
or they
like,
get-
"Argh," you know,
They
with
get
the-
caught in a bush or a tree and they just starve. to
Yeah.
death, you know,
Yeah.
like
You seen the video where the coyote got trapped? I mean, this coyote, but and he's like in the red, like in Utah somewhere, where those cliffs, you know.
Yeah.
And he's caught one of his arms and he's biting it off.
yeah.
He's like yelling. It sounds horrible, but
I bet.
yeah, the wild is worse than anything
For sure.
we can do.
I was thinking that too. Like we always say, we shouldn't kill animals, stuff like that. And you see like bears and like other animals killing them. So I'm like,
or
so
you
what
see
what
hyenas,
about them?
how
Yeah.
they eat other animals while they're still alive and
Yeah.
rip the guts
Monkeys.
out and shit.
Monkeys do it too.
Yeah,
At least we're humane when we do it.
Yeah.
that's true. That's not as bad as a fucking factory farm, like quick, shot to the head.
Yeah.
There, you do your thing, bro. I was just.
And it just seems like a challenge too. Not with a gun. I would never go hunting with a gun.
Why not?
I think it just looks too easy.
You
learn how to
A
shoot.
real sportsman.
Well, I think it would. It's like unfair
I
to
would
the
still
animal.
take. I would still take one just in case.
Now, do you use a crossbow or?
No, I just started. I just bought a traditional bow and I just started practicing it. But
Okay.
What you wouldn't take one though, just in case like you ran into a puma or some shit.
no, you might. Well, if you're like trying to defend yourself an animal, you should have a gun. Then.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
But would I take a cross? No, I would just take a gun. If I could own a gun. But
you can't own a gun.
No, I can't own a gun.
Oh, you committed a.
Jesus Christ!
You made a whoopsie.
Can we talk about that?
I
Probably not.
now it just feels weird because anyways.
Wait.
Oh yeah, I mean sure it's not that long. I just I committed manslaughter. No, just like just drugs.
And
like 90% of the people in jail.
Yeah.
Just drugs. Just got caught up with drugs. And
Nothing violent.
So you got to cut up with a non-violent offense, stuff like that. That's what you
yeah.
normally do. Okay.
And I just gave away my right to own a gun.
Really?
Well, that's what you do when you like plead or something, or you forfeit your right to trial, and then you forfeit. I just gave it up. I was like, here, I'll sign this, so I don't.
So that's what you got to do. Crossbows. So if anyone,
I wouldn't do a gun anyway if I could.
Really?
Yeah, I wouldn't hunt an animal with a gun unless it was like, like we need to eat, and there's a gun. Go
like kill a bear to survive or something like that.
Yeah, I'll go kill it. But if I'm hunting for sport, then I'm gonna try to at least make it fair.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Well, this is like the traditional. Well, not the traditional way, but I say I've seen some hunters that hunt with like a spear or a knife and dogs. The dog holds down the animal. And
The dogs seem rough because the dogs don't.
They don't give a fuck.
Yeah, and they'll just.
That's the animal dies a pretty fucked up death. Like when it's 6 pit bulls on a boar, that shit looks horrible, man.
Boars are rough. Boars are wild though. They're like rough. They'll charge at you and shit like that. Yeah.
But people trap too. They set up traps.
True. Yeah. So the ways.
I guess any just way that just kills the animal quickly is probably the one I would prefer. I don't think I would hunt. Like I like dogs, but I don't think I would go out with a pack of dogs.
Really?
And a knife. Even though that sounds like
You'd be safer.
I don't think that'd be safe. I have to get close to the animal to kill it.
That's true.
Anything that keeps you further away from the animal is the best.
But then with arrows, you got to get a little closer. Than
You do have to get a little closer, but
especially if you want to hunt the bear with.
I don't plan on hunting bear.
Okay.
But
Yeah, that's probably smart.
Can you even control what kind of animals you run into?
no, you can't
That's
just
what I'm
run
saying.
into animals. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean, there's people like
There's repellent, right, for some animal.
There's a spray. There's probably like a non-lethal gun that just makes a loud noise that. Because I mean, you can have a gun too, and if a bear comes at you, you miss him once or twice, or you don't hit a vital organ, or you don't have the right caliber of gun,
And you're gone.
and he just gets you just in time, and maybe he kills you before he dies.
Yeah, he could just by fucking running into you, a bear.
So there's just like a lot of preventative ways. Like you just want to just have knowledge of where the bear would be, loud noises. You don't ever want to do it in a situation where it's like you have to shoot a bear anyway.
Yeah, because if you got a Glock,
it's almost too late.
If you got a Glock,
if you
can
have
do shit.
to shoot the bear.
Yeah.
But there's like survival shows where like they go out and they're like trying to win money, but then there's like also the chance of a bear being out there. So they give them like the spray. I think they give them a gun too.
What show?
That's just something you don't want to deal with, Like if a bear's trying to get you.
What show is this?
I forgot
Like
what it
YouTube
was.
shows?
It's like Alone. No, it was Netflix.
Naked and Alone.
No, it wasn't Naked and Afraid. I know that one.
You're not talking about that one, right?
Yeah, I do.
It was called Alone, and it was just like they sent people out by themselves and just broke them up into different spaces. They weren't close enough, and it was just by themselves, and they just had to stay an indefinite amount of time. It was like whoever just waits it out the longest wins. So you didn't have any knowledge of if people were quitting or if people had to back out and you're the only one left. You just had to keep going until the last person left, and then they would come get you. I mean, it's pretty gnarly, like psychologically.
Would you do that?
No, hell no. Like not even if I had the skills.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I believe I could do it. I don't need to prove it.
Yeah.
What if they after you like 20 G's?
I think they were doing it for.
They were doing it for like, oh,
I'm about to say that's not enough, dude.
yeah,
20 G's
ain't enough.
20 G's.
to survive out by yourself with the possibility of bears and shit like that.
I
Like,
mean, like at least.
I mean, yeah, but shit, I ain't that broke.
I mean, that's barely a teacher's salary.
That's true.
There's a risk of death.
Yeah.
There was a guy. I can't remember his name. It was in a documentary by Werner Herzog called Grizzly Man. You ever
Oh
seen that?
yeah.
Yeah, like that guy was going out there and making quote unquote friends with the bears. Trying to, no disrespect, he was actually trying to like enforce like, care for the bears,
preservation and all that.
environmental preservation. He was educating children across the nation about these bears and their habitat and all that kind of stuff. And he was essentially doing a volunteer work, like an unsanctioned park ranger, because he'd catch people doing cruel things like throwing stones at the bears. Like, hey, what are you doing? The bear's in the river. Why are you,
Or hunting them in the cave when they're hibernating.
Right.
Yeah.
He would fend off people doing things like that. And, he kind of had a way with them where he was like, look, they're going to test you for dominance here. He kind of learned how to kind of work with the bears until like, he ended up coming across a bear that he didn't know.
It was hungry too.
And it was hungry. And like he
was
came
in the wrong hood.
He came well, the mistake he made
Is Crip here, cuz?
was he came later in the year than he normally would have. And it was the time when most of the bears would have started hibernation, and the only bears that were still around were the ones that
They were coming out of hibernation.
desperately trying to I thought it was that they were
because it wasn't snowing anymore, so they were coming out of hibernation.
I thought snow hadn't started yet.
No.
And the issue was that the bear didn't eat enough to hibernate.
Okay.
That he came across. I think that's what it was. Because all the other bears had gone to sleep by then. And it was just a few roaming around desperately looking for food.
And it was him and his girlfriend.
It was him and his girlfriend.
Have you heard about this?
I mean, I know, but I've never watched the documentary.
Well, there's the audio.
Yeah.
There's
So he's
audio.
dead, right?
Oh
he's
yeah.
dead.
Okay,
Him
yeah.
and his girl. So
He died doing what he loved.
This dude.
There you go.
This dude had like the audio recorder going while he was getting, eaten.
He filmed a lot of it too.
Yeah.
It's just that the camera or whatever didn't catch, but the audio was there of him telling her to run. And
They killed the bear while it was still near the tent, and it had stomach full of homies like body parts and his girls, and then like they said that there was like hands with like this much missing, all like just bone, and then like hands. That's fucked up.
In the audio, is he like saying like, why would you do this?
No, in the documentary they listen to the audio, but they don't play it, right?
Yeah.
And then the
Werner
director,
Herzog is
like,
decent.
he tells the sister not to ever show that to anyone. Yeah,
And
he's just like,
he even says, "Look, if you haven't seen this, don't watch it yourself."
because she hasn't seen it, right? She hasn't
Right.
watched it. Yeah. Anyways,
I would watch that shit, yeah.
I would, if I were you, I'd hunt bears, bro.
Oh, I mean,
Getting back for the homie grizzly man.
So, David, you do
No,
comedy,
he wouldn't
right?
want that though. He wouldn't want that. So
Yeah, let's talk about comedy.
Yeah.
why? What?
The whole time we was like talking, I just wanted to say, like, is there like an automatic like archer? Like, I just wanted to say that because he doesn't have guns, but
Yeah.
automatic bow
Like
and
in
arrow.
Van
a
Helsing,
Gatling,
remember Van Helsing?
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
I love that shit. Yeah, that was dope.
Well, can you do crossbows since it's kind of like a...
I think technically I could. I was looking it up, but crossbows don't. It's
You don't get the feeling of killing.
It's not an arrow. It's a bolt, right?
Oh,
It's like
yeah, you're right. It's smaller, no?
It's thicker. It's it's a different kind of. It's a different beast.
You know who Tim Bellows is?
No.
Tim Wells or Tim Bell, I forgot his name, but it's a hunter dude on YouTube, and he hunts with spears,
Nice.
blowguns, and like there's this video of him. It's in his intro of his show. He has those arrows that have like a line attached to it for fish.
Oh yeah.
There's like a fish, those fish that fly out of the water.
Oh yeah,
And right when it flies out, he shoots it right in the middle, dude.
that's good timing.
Yeah. He's like one of the best archers ever. I thought you.
And he's just doing it for he wants to be the
YouTube channel, obviously.
good at
channel.
it, right?
Well,
I mean, but
he did
Patreon.
this thing where he set up a tent in Africa because baboons are like infiltrating this
Baboons.
town. Yeah.
Okay.
He kills like 20 baboons.
Okay.
And he
With
does
what?
it with a blowgun. What's it called?
and poison.
No, just sharp ass arrows. They're like.
So Rafiki's from Lion King is like coming
those
into his
are-
territory.
Rafiki's not a baboon.
Yeah, no, I just want to say that.
Okay. Well, he kills hell of them. Like he puts a pile of oranges and they show up, And he just like,
The baboon's only weakness.
This is
Oranges.
All is fair in love and war, man.
like, oh, what is this perfect thing of oranges?
There's
you
a
have to do
pile
that,
of
though?
oranges, but
Like-
then there's a pile of dead baboons.
It's like there's an orange there, but then there's a big pile right there.
wouldn't you have to do that though if you want to hunt, especially if you want to get something
Bait?
close up? You got to put bait, right?
You can bait, yeah, or you can.
Would you do
You can
that?
track something.
You don't.
You can track something and walk it down.
Well, you
I mean,
listen.
if you knew how to run, if you were like a marathon runner, you could just run something down.
No way. Oh yeah, because
Yeah.
it'll give up, right?
Well, it doesn't have endurance. Well, it has endurance, but it doesn't have the
Endurance.
Same endurance.
cooling system that we have.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
It overheats and it gets exhausted.
They do
like
that?
it'll
Yeah.
it'll try to run for its life if you keep chasing it, but it's
Four
gonna
legs.
get exhausted eventually.
That's hilarious.
There's
They're
a tribe.
gonna outrun you
Yeah.
short distance for sure. They're gonna.
That's hella funny.
There's a tribe that still hunts that way down in like South America. I saw a
Okay.
documentary about it.
Yeah.
They like chase the animal till it gives up.
Yeah.
And just hit it with rocks.
That's hella funny. So imagine like people like, what are you training for? To go back to my village and hunt.
Yeah.
Like,
Those dudes could probably like kill it like in competitions out here.
yeah. But that's why they say like Nigerians and stuff like that are people like from like other countries like are so good at like long distance because most of the time it's the place you're going is so far away or if like you're hunting and stuff.
Also, they say that some people that were the villages where they don't wear shoes, they can run better because
Their feet are like so like tough. Yeah.
Yeah. So you do stand up comedy.
Oh,
You don't want to talk about that?
sometimes.
You don't want to talk about that?
I don't know. I didn't know. I'm sorry. I didn't know this was the stand-up comedy podcast.
Oh, hunting for humor.
Oh no,
Wait, but have you ever hunted at all?
It's a good time.
no, never.
So this is a new thing. You kind of like
No, I read.
you feel it's
I read
not fair to eat something without killing it.
Okay, so I was a vegetarian for 7 years of my life.
Holy shit!
Oh shit. Okay.
Oh, so you're going like up the
Hey, yeah.
No, so I meet my whole life. Then like in high school, somebody does a report on fucking industrial farming.
Oh, you feel for that shit?
Yeah, right. And then he brings in vegan cupcakes, and you're like, these are delicious. And then
I will only
They
eat
must have
this
been,
from now on.
and then you're like, fuck, I could see me doing it,
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, I'll just stop eating meat. I stopped eating fast food, I think, first, and then I just stopped eating meat. And then I wasn't healthy or anything. I wasn't like, I still ate terrible.
Yeah.
And then I even was a vegetarian in jail. But then when I came out of jail, I was like, started going to eat at places, and I started eating sushi first. And then I started eating like good quality meat and not like, not McDonald's, like none of that.
Processed food.
Yeah. And then I read a book, and they were talking about like what's wrong with everything with the industrial farming, and I was like, oh, it's not the meat that's bad, because they say that all the time, right? Like, oh, red meat's bad, don't eat red meat.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, it's not the meat that's bad, it's how we're producing it. And then so I started eating like grass-fed stuff and pasture raised. And so then I read, I think I read something about like killing something. I think it was
Like by Jeffrey Dahmer?
the omnivore's dilemma. I think that's what the book is. And he was saying that he wanted to experience, I think, hunting or something. So he went out and hunted something.
Okay.
And then just from reading his experience of like being like, oh, it wasn't really this isn't something I dreamt of doing. I just thought it would be an experience to have. I was like, maybe I should do that. Like, especially if I'm gonna start eating meat, maybe I should be able to kill something.
Yeah. It is a good skill to have in case the shit hits the fan,
Yeah, I mean, I just, I think sometimes we're so far removed from what we've always been.
Yeah.
And then we hit some technological booms. And then
For sure.
That means so people don't have to do the things that we used to have to do.
Yeah.
But I don't think it makes us happier. I think it'd actually be happier if we were doing those things still.
Yeah.
And I don't want to like go out and kill for everything I have to eat, but it would be interesting to know the experience,
Well, there's this customer I used to have that he had a stroke, and the doctor told him to cut back on meat, but he loved meat. So then he just started hunting, and he lost weight, obviously doing the hunting, but also he was only eating the meat that he killed, and his cholesterol dropped
Oh yeah.
like a lot. So that's one of those
Imagine like how sometimes you come home and be like, fuck, I don't feel like cooking, so you go get fast food. Imagine coming home and be like, fuck, I don't feel like hunting, so you have to go
to the grocery
like,
store.
I gotta go back out and fucking just like, let me start sharpening my tools. Like, kind of that's a different type of like. This is gonna be hard.
Like one like deer will last you a long ass time though.
No, it will actually. Like a deer could probably last you a year.
No way.
I think
for one person though.
For
right?
one person.
Okay.
Yeah. No, if you're feeding other people, which is generally what we used to do. We used to hunt something and we'd spread it around.
Yeah, for the the village. That's why we several people go out.
And then the people that grow shit will share with those people, and then you have a full plate of shit. Yeah. I remember when growing up, I had a chicken coop, and that's all we ate as far as chickens.
Yeah.
So
I wanted some chickens.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you can technically have like 2 if you're in the
Really?
city. I think you can. I remember looking it up one time.
In the city?
Well, if you're like in just a city like Hazel,
you can have 6. 6 is the minimum you can have.
Where in your city? Say anywhere.
I think that's Contra Costa. I don't know. About,
You said minimum.
yeah.
Why do you have to have a minimum of chickens?
Because people have them for eggs.
No, but you said you could.
He probably
Yeah,
maximum.
no. Maximum.
Okay.
Maximum. That's
You
what
like
I meant.
buy
You
one.
only have
like, no.
6
You need to
minimum.
have- yeah, you need
I just
to
wanted one.
Someone told me-
6.
Someone told me that in Contra Costa County, the maximum you can have chickens is like 6 per household.
Okay.
Yeah, because
So just move
my
next to your
cousin
neighbor.
has like 20,
your cousin.
but
Yeah.
that's
You stitch
It's like
your
weed
cousin.
plants, right? Like you're only supposed to have.
Exactly.
You know? Yeah.
Imagine being busted for having too many chickens at your. Here we stand in Richmond, Contra Costa.
If your neighbor's tripping, you can.
They'll do that.
I mean, but is it really
Because the
tripping though?
roosters are loud, bro.
Loud as fuck, dude.
I had a rooster that went crazy, and that motherfucker was crowing like at 4 a.m.
Oh,
and shit,
okay.
dude. Then at one point he would crow all night. So then one day,
You coming with that bow and arrow?
Yeah. I wanted to kill my neighbors. It wasn't even like the close neighbor. It was like this is like back when I lived in like Hilltop area. I remember because you could hear it because if it's in the neighborhood you can hear whenever it's crowing and stuff. And then it broke out of like the house that it was at and then moved like into our backyard.
oh fuck that.
So then every morning I'll be waking up. I think it was like 5:30 or 6 by this rooster fucking. And then one day, like I said aside at the time, I was like, I'm just gonna go find this fucking rooster. And I almost caught it like a few different times, but then it would get close to a fence, and then like I would like jump for it, and then it would just like fly like way up, like haha, almost. But then I remember I was like I went like this going towards it, so then it was trying to shake me, but ended up shaking itself and getting stuck. But then it was like it did like remember, oh I could fly, and then like flew away. I was like fuck, like I was like this close to getting
So
it.
you really would have killed it?
Yeah.
Were you ready to deal with the consequences?
I can finally sleep.
Yeah,
This is like 4 months of being woken up at like 5:30 or 6, and I'm a kid too who doesn't have to get up till like 7:30 or 8 or whatever. So yeah.
You know what's the trip? When we killed that rooster, all the chickens started fighting each other.
So you killed my man, bitch. It was your fault.
Without the king,
They stopped producing eggs.
Yeah.
the
It was
kingdom
weird,
fell
man.
into disarray.
That's the thing, though. That's the thing. I don't know, how chickens work, but that's. So you want to have chickens?
So you do comedy? I do want to have chickens.
Yeah?
Yeah, that seems kind of fun.
The eggs are way better, man. Way better. They have less. The yolk's like way more orange.
I want a goat too.
You want to go?
Yeah, just to have
Defeated wheat.
like one goat.
Goats are actually pretty good to have and stuff like that. I know there's a guy who like
Fertilizer?
no, it's because there's a lot of dead grass everywhere.
Yeah.
So they hire him to go and like.
Oh, you seen those goats?
The goats that are always on the freeway. Like he lived close to us, and then he was like, oh yeah, man, I just bring my goats out, and I come back later and get them. So especially nowadays, because first he would do it. It was just like this one part in El Sabani next to like the fire department. But then now because like it's getting super hot, like he gets like steady.
It's called goat weed abatement, and they just bring
Weed
it to the
abatement?
spot, and then
Okay.
it just eats up all the stuff.
I would want to see what a goat was like on LSD. Interesting.
Do you do LSD?
No.
So wait, why do you want to see a goat on LSD?
It's just they're weird
How
animals.
They're gonna be weirder.
They're gonna be.
They're gonna act
Let's find
normal.
out.
They're gonna
They eat
start
regular grass
stand
instead of dead grass.
stand up straight.
So, no, they
Goats are
wander
weird,
they
bro.
wander off and start eating like turf grass, and then just all of a sudden you see a whole football field just like gone because
Have you had like a goat before?
No.
Okay, they're fucking weird, man. Like,
Okay.
they're like, I don't know how to explain it, bro. Like, but they have a lot of. I mean, I sound like an idiot saying this, like personality.
Yeah.
Maybe you had to go.
They like
before?
people.
They do.
Yeah.
And when it was fucked up, one time, the last time we bought a goat to eat, like we got it live because it's cheaper and we have to do all the killing ourselves.
Yeah.
In the backyard, just like
In the
what at
backyard,
night.
yeah.
It's a long day,
Yeah.
huh? Yeah.
Well,
Real Mexican shit.
yeah, we grew up doing that shit a lot. But this was like 2015, 2016, bro.
Oh, you was over the shit by then. huh?
Yeah. So it was for a party, and
Hell yeah.
yeah.
Quinceañera?
Yeah. No, just, just remember, usually like they'll do some shit like that for quinceañera, make birria out of it. But anyways, this fucking goat got attached to me from the first day that they brought her over. Yeah. Every time I would walk away, it did that shit all night the first night.
Really?
Yeah. When I left, like loud, bro.
Yeah.
So I had to sleep in my living room.
Yeah. So the goat could be quiet.
With the goat
Yeah.
tied near the door.
Yeah.
Shut the.
So it would shut up because it was like 4 a.m. Like this motherfucker doesn't get tired.
Yeah.
Then the next day, they wouldn't. Whenever someone would grab the fucking rope around his neck, it wouldn't walk with them unless I did it.
Yeah.
And I had my uncle showed up. He's one of those dudes that can skin an animal in 30 minutes. Bro.
Yeah.
Like that. Like, you know, have it corded, ready to go.
Yeah.
He's over there sharpening his knives, and then I feel horrible, man.
Because you had to.
Walk it
It's like the guy that walked Ted Bundy to the electric chair, you know?
That's not bad. That guy, I wouldn't mind about
Oh
that
yeah,
guy.
that'd be, yeah. But that's how I felt. I named her Myrna.
The music going up to you pulling like Myrna up to the like your uncle just this is
and it was quick, bro. He
I
just like nothing. The whole process took like 45 minutes.
You got PTSD? Like I see your family kill a lot of your friends, yo. A lot of your
some of the best beer I've ever had, bro.
like you taste amazing.
And it's grass fed, it's healthy.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of
recommend it,
stories
bro.
where, like, you know, parents who grew up on a farm or grandparents who always warn their kids, like, don't name the animals, don't get attached.
Don't get attached to any of these deer.
I would name the animal. I just wouldn't name it like a human name or something.
Right.
Hey, steak, how's it going?
Yeah.
Number
What up,
one
sausage
with
number
cheese.
one?
Exactly.
You know what was weird?
Brunch.
And I've only
That's my goat
I just
brunch.
killed brunch right here.
I've only seen this once, and it was a white family that they named their dog Ryan.
That's funny. I like dogs named with people names.
What? That's weird though.
I think it's hilarious.
Really?
Yeah.
Did they eat the dog?
No. Just that was
Okay.
that was his name.
All right. Cool.
I mean, some people name their dog Butch, but Butch is also a human name.
Yeah, no, but like to name a dog a human name is just weird, bro. Like you looking for Ryan? Hey, is Ryan here?
To name a human a dog name is weird. And you see some people with like common dog names.
Yeah.
Like what?
Like,
Buddy?
I mean, like Rex or something.
You ever met a
Rex is also historically a human name. It's
You-
like,
It's
but
pretty
Latin.
dominant.
Prehistorical.
To Roman.
Prehistorical.
Rex Grossman is a quarterback who played for the Chicago Bears and went to the Super Bowl.
If you
trash.
ever met someone like their name is Buddy,
Buddy.
and you're like, yeah, what's your real name though? Like, yeah, not your nickname. Like, no,
There's a comedian out of Sacramento whose name is Buddy.
that's a funny first name. Guy, I met dudes whose first name is Guy.
That's so white though. I can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are dog names, like specific dog
JD,
names?
what's your first name?
Jose.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, Jose.
That's my brother's name.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty common in the Latino community.
It's so common, yeah. It's
His
super
name
common.
is Jose Luis.
That's common too.
That's common. My name is Jose Damian. That's JD.
Okay.
And
Is that a common one?
No.
I only learned his first two names about 2 months ago.
Yeah.
About 4 months ago. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know
Yeah.
what the D stands for.
I didn't know what the J stood for either.
Really?
Yeah. And he's like Jose. I was like, who?
I
You
don't
don't look like a Jose.
Hella
Yeah.
do, bro.
I was thinking like a Julio.
Hella do.
I was thinking like a Julio,
Dude,
maybe.
who calls you Jose?
Work people. School. Back when I was in school, those are the only people who call me Jose.
Isn't it hella weird when people people call you your first name, like your actual name instead of JD? Like you feel like
it is
you kind of
weird.
flinch. You gotta be
It's
like
weird,
what?
like,
who's this?
Your mom call you JD?
No. They call me. My sister and my family, my siblings do. That's why I go by JD.
Okay.
Because my brother and sisters call me JD. But everyone else, like my uncles and shit, would call me Damien.
Right.
So
I remember you told me
that's-
this. Told me this.
yeah.
Is it because there's other Jose's in your family? Or?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hella.
All right.
Hella.
That's like me.
And none of them
yeah.
go by Jose. Like they go by something else. Like, Chema and
Yeah.
fucking, yeah. Because, Mexicans give everyone a nickname for, like Guillermo's Memo and shit. You never know what their real name is until they get arrested or some shit.
Yeah, like, I didn't know.
Court
the name.
date.
Yeah. Your man's name is Cardelis. It's hella weird when people call me that.
I know, that sounds like a priest name,
Yeah.
Cardelis.
And I hate when people call me that.
Cardelis.
I hate when people call me that too, because it's like only people who call me that is like a few members of my family, or it's like direct family members call me
Wait,
that.
that's on your birth certificate?
Yeah,
Cordelis?
Speaking
Cardelis. See, and that's why I go by Corday because everybody says Cordelis.
I got a question for you.
Car.
Wait, so your name is Cardelis, and people, to shorten it, people call you Corday?
Yeah. I have a ton of nicknames, dude. So it was like high school homies called me Delis. Family members were like by the age of 5 used to call me Deli. Then like a few aunts called me like a few other things, and then I was going by like Snell in like football times, and then when I got to college and a homie came up with the name Corday, and I started going by that.
Okay.
I got a question for you.
I like Cardelis.
Nah, dude, don't start calling me that. I hate when people do that.
Call you that.
No, because hate when people say that.
It
I hate
sounds
that.
very regal.
It does.
Like you belong on somebody's throne, or you're the duke at least in the royal.
That's
like
one
you have a
name, dude.
Gucci wallet.
Yeah.
Cardelis has a Gucci wallet.
Yeah.
Like that's what I think.
Well, and that's what
I got a question for
black
you
names,
for real.
yeah.
What, JD? What? What you see? We're talking about Carday.
He's
Talking about
that's how I fucking tell people. You don't fuck it
This is
up.
for real.
We're
'cause
talking about
Wakanda.
Cardelis.
I asked you,
royal family.
and I don't know whether you're serious or not. Did you really go Christian recently, or are you just like trolling everyone?
Oh, well, do you want to know how
I really-
feel about religion?
I do, because I don't know if you're joking or not.
I respect and appreciate religion. I didn't always though.
Okay.
I mean, but when I make fun of something though, I'm making fun of it. I'm not.
Are you making one of those memes you post? Are you like?
I mean, kind of, sort of. I make like most of the things I'm making fun of if I'm talking about them.
Yeah.
But also, like, I wouldn't be making fun of it if I didn't.
Respect it a little.
Yeah, or like, I don't know. I appreciate religion.
Got
I think it's better to have it than not.
Why?
Just because I think it's in our DNA, basically. And I think when we try to separate ourselves from it, there creates problems.
Community and moral compass. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Those are the
people love saying like, oh, we can have morality and ethics without religion, but
You don't agree, Cordy? Oh, you're shaking your head.
Oh, because he was saying we could have morality without it. I'm like,
I go, maybe we can, but it didn't start that way.
Yeah.
That's true.
So that's,
There have been a ton of philosophers that have come out and, tried to say, well, if you can use logic and sort of mind theory to induce morality that way, but you're right. I mean, you go back to the ancient recesses, everybody was, founding their morals based on some laws that some god or goddess or group of them set down before them.
Yeah.
A lot of the laws do come from like old scripture.
Yeah. It's super funny because I took a physical anthropology class, and back when we went from Homo sapien, Homo erectus was like the first like ape or whatever that stood like upright, and then once they started walking around, they said
That was my nickname in high school too.
hilarious. Every
Homo.
Erectus.
So you had a bunch of boners in class. JD, can you please come up here on the board with your erectus up here?
That was the worst.
But what it was, they said, because it first started all in Africa, they said at each stop when Homo erectus or wherever we started to become, like each stop, they all had some kind of form of religion, and these people would be like 500 years like a part of each other. So the first person that came there died, and like their ancestors would move on to someplace else. There was each some kind of religious creation or being at every single stop that was all different.
That's when they started moving, right?
Yeah, when they started moving, yeah. So it's like started Africa, Europe, India, and all that kind of stuff.
Like when they started traveling is when they started kind of developing religion, though, right?
Yeah. Well, it was already there, but then they started developing new ones at each and every different stop. But that was like the common thing, that some kind of form of religion was always there. Even like the person who would get there had no knowledge of the previous religion, whatever. So they would leave and not have like a religion there. But then it was always created and like some kind of like have like this religious kind of like experience while being in this new land.
Did you grow up in any? Like,
I grew up like in. I mean, just like anybody in the U.S., you grow up in a like a media that is like saturated with Christianity. You know, I mean, like there's a lot of Disney stories that
for sure
that are like similar to Christian stories, or people just know who Cain and Abel is, or who Adam and Eve is, even if you're not, in a Christian household, or, so.
What are some examples of Disney?
Yeah, I was like,
That was my main
fairy tales I know, but
So, I mean, just the people that wrote these were Christian.
basically their value system.
Yeah, yeah.
It's very Christian. Yeah, you're right about that.
And
It's like Snow White's Christian.
Mufasa, Cain and Abel.
I mean, no, it was Scar. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I'm trying to think, because I wasn't trying to go into specific stuff, but it is interesting when you do look at certain things and be like, oh yeah, that just like it's just like a classic Abrahamic story.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I had family members, like my mom would say she was, religious, but I mean, she wasn't teaching me much. And then my grandparents, they were going to church, and they dragged me along a couple of times, but I thought it was boring, I think
Most kids do.
I think that's actually the problem with religion, is that it's boring, and then people don't see it like it's something that could be exciting. They're just like, oh, this is boring. I already know all this stuff, like, yeah, be good, do right,
Don't kill.
Yeah, like, I get it,
Unless you have a very charismatic preacher.
Yeah.
That's why Pentecostal churches are dope.
Yeah, that's what.
Is that what you do?
Yeah, I'm Pentecostal.
Pentecostal?
Like, because I went to like Baptist churches, and I was like, why does this feels off? But it's like Pentecostals, we call it spirit. When the spirit gets high, it's like kind of like you play like upbeat like music and things like that. And then the church I went to also, it was like very youth oriented too. Like, it was like the pastor was young, and then like incorporate like a lot of stuff to kind of keep like youth involved and kind of keep like youth interest and stuff like that, instead of just being like old kind of like, okay, so turn to Psalms 20.
Yeah, that's how my church was.
We'll be doing the reading.
Wait, what denomination or what?
I think they were Christians. I never really even researched or I wasn't even interested in it. Actually, and then, as any, teenager, as you start like, look at all the bad stuff in the world, like, and religion just lets it happen, or God just so you start to become like atheistic or something, or like, oh, God doesn't even exist. Like, why would he, especially, I don't know if I'm not gonna.
But he doesn't.
I'm
just kidding.
No, okay. So this is what I say. No matter if God exists or not, we all seem to have a relationship with Him throughout our whole entire life. We're always. I mean, from the beginning, you're asking God, like, why would this happen, or why did you let this happen, or well, at least I was, And then
you're asking God, or you're asking just.
I'm asking someone.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's not the people around me.
I think we all have a sense that there's something external out there beyond ourselves.
And you're not asking yourself, right? You're just asking this question that you don't have the answer to.
For sure.
And then they stack up, and you're like, well,
what's going on?
What's going on, and how and then you, I guess you start to distance yourself. It's like, oh, there's nothing even there. Like, nothing's even answering. And then at least I think there was a
lot of time that it is how you feel though, when you're like, fuck, like, I mean, I'm not saying, I'm only like, I agree with you, but I'm also like, because sometimes you do ask, like, like when a homie dies or something, why,
Yeah, no, you do. Even if it's just for a millisecond, even if you just ask for a millisecond, and then you go, oh, well, it's just life, and then God not there or something. You still, for a second, you were like, you wanted something, Yeah. And then, so I was like atheistic for a while, and then I just started. I was really into psychology and stuff, and I was listening to people online, and then I started listening to philosophy, and then I started connecting it to religion, and then I think just learning, and just more and more as I learned, like, through my 20s of what religion was, I just started appreciating it more, and then I just started, like, I just kind of see it as like just somebody that's still going through that, like, why stage when they're complaining about religions or something, when they're saying like, oh, these are all bullshit, or I'm just like, oh, you're just still going through that, like,
rebellious phase.
Yeah. And I'm not saying you have to, but it seems like even if people don't walk around saying they believe in God, they still seem to like, even if they're a calm and like put together person, they behave in a way as if like, hey, let's just say that this is how we should all act with each other, or they submit to something. Right. You know, and I think
they just call it something else.
Yeah, they call it anything. They call it the universe, karma,
spiritual.
You have a ton
spiritual
of
energy.
Yeah. And I mean, that, to me, that's honestly that God. I think that's the most important thing of God to me. If you ask other people, not if you believe in it or not, but like, do you submit to whatever your God is? Do you say that, I'm smaller than this, or this is bigger than me? Mm-hmm. And I think that, to me, that's the thing I judge people most on, where I'm just like, if you can't submit to you think you're so like smart, you think you're so intelligent, you think you're so like above everybody else that there's nothing above you, like.
It could be the case though.
It could be, but I mean, that'd be kind of silly to think. Right?
it would. But
it'd be like this. It'd be so silly to think. I mean,
I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying, what if?
Yeah.
What if?
What if life just meant nothing?
Doesn't that sometimes feel like that's the case?
I think it is the case.
Yeah.
But you don't get nothing from it. Right.
No. Yeah. You make the most out of whatever the fuck this is.
Yeah. I don't think you get anything from it saying like everything means nothing.
No.
Yeah.
It only makes for real. It only makes it worse when you're already feeling down and shit.
It's nihilism.
Yeah.
It's
which, if you look at like historically people that are nihilistic, it does like never mind.
They're the worst. Let's just say it. They're the worst people.
Most, not all, but most.
The worst.
Because I know a lot of people that are atheists, but like their values are Christian.
Yeah.
Deep rooted in like Christianity. So I think sometimes also, people have bad experiences with the groups.
Yeah,
religious groups, and then it's like, I don't want to be associated with the Catholic Church. Mm-hmm. I don't want to be associated with. I've met a lot of people that go to all these different, that were involved with different groups. It's like the minute we stopped paying, or we had 1 month we couldn't pay, they stopped helping us. And when we were in need, they didn't help us, and the pastor slept with my wife, all that kind of shit. I mean, but that's
their dog
groups in general.
That's just people. I mean,
just people being people.
I always whenever people say something bad, like, oh, look, this is what Christianity did, or this is what this. I always say, like, religion's like a tool. Yeah. Like it's like a hammer. You can build something with it, or you can kill somebody with it. Like it, and it's not. You don't blame the tool. You don't say, oh, that's a bad hammer because somebody picked it up and killed somebody with it.
Right.
And people use it to corrupt. Like you say, like, instead of saying like, I'm saying this, like, oh, this is in this Bible or in like religion or kind of things like that. Like, I know specifically using like certain sayings from the Bible and things like that. But at the time, people couldn't read, so they have to believe, well, this is not my will. This is God's will.
Said, right.
This is God's will saying this. That's why you're like this, and why we're doing this to you, because this is the act of God. Immortal Technique used to say that.
My beef is, why can't we eat shrimp, man?
Because it's bad, JD. That's right. It's spoiled. No, it's
why
spoiled.
Can't you eat shrimp?
It's spoiled.
Isn't it in the Bible that you can't eat shrimp?
Leviticus has like a whole segment on stuff you can't eat. But in the New Testament,
there we go.
Right, the part 2 of all this,
shrimp's back on the menu, boys.
Yes. There's a bit where I think it's Peter is in the woods and he's starving, and then God sends him an animal that traditionally is considered unclean. He goes, Lord, this is unclean. And then God's like, has there really been anything under the sun that I've made that is, I'm paraphrasing, it's bad for you? Just pray over it and then eat. So the lesson taken there is that the new covenant is, you come across food you're not, that's not traditionally acceptable according to Leviticus, you say grace. This is why Christians say grace at the table. Before they eat.
I mean, it's just like, I think it made sense at the time. We have no idea what was going on. Everybody was probably getting sick.
They didn't know what bacteria was.
Yeah. They were probably getting sick of food, and then they would just go, well, it must be that because we're all eating that. We're all getting sick, so don't eat that.
Yeah.
And then eventually down the line, it doesn't make any sense, but people are still doing it. Also, they used to keep track of like you would if you had another religion adjacent to you, you would be like, well, we're not going to do what they do, so we don't ever mix, so we don't ever mingle. That's how we separate ourselves. We don't eat pork, or we don't eat because they eat pork, or we don't eat this because they eat that. You know, it's just tribalism.
Pork is an interesting meat, though. Like, some health enthusiasts to tell you, like, pork is, you know...
It's bad for you. Well, it's one of the worst meats for us anyway, so I kind of...
But it tastes...
so
bacon
delicious.
is so delicious.
You eat pork?
Somewhat. Not my favorite. I'd rather eat cow over everything. Just because I feel better, like, it's a bigger animal. I only took one life. You know, like, I feel like if we're talking about like ethics and stuff, like as far as like what vegetarians or vegans talk about, I feel like there's some things that I still believe. So it's like if I eat chicken wings, like I feel terrible because I just ate like 6-7 chickens.
That's true,
right?
As opposed, I could just eat like a little small chunk of a you know,
like you took a little bite out of a big old thing instead of
The ethos in some Native American tribes is like you kill the deer, but you make sure that every inch of that deer gets to use. Even the parts you're not going to eat, we're going to turn the bones into tools. And then we're going to thank the great spirit for, you know, the spirit of the deer for giving itself to us.
You know that joke?
I believe in that.
You know that George Carlin joke? Where it's like, you ever had lunch for chicken for lunch and then for dinner, and then you wonder if the two chickens knew each other? That's true. I never thought about because I eat Wingstop twice a month.
Yeah.
And I think like, dude, I ordered the 10-piece.
What flavors?
I do original hot and lemon pepper.
Okay.
I don't like lemon pepper, dude. But I love original hot.
Original hot is probably my favorite.
They got mango habanero over there. I like.
Okay, David.
But it's true. Like, how many fucking chickens, you know, lost?
You ever watch the videos where they're just like,
5,
dropping
dude.
the chicks through these machines and just like grinding them up?
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll watch that stuff just to be like, I shouldn't.
Well, if you ever, when you ever eat like, after you eat like Wingstop or these wings we just ate, and then you eat a real organic, like when I grew up, we have those chickens that we would, you know, raise ourselves. You could boil those chickens for 3 hours. You couldn't crunch those bones with your teeth. They're fucking hard, man.
Are you saying Wingstop's bones are brittle?
Fucking super brittle.
You know, I've never thought about that, but that could be the case.
Oh, we're getting the light. Damn.
Are we getting the light?
I dated a chick who was.
So you do comedy?
Wait, so how long you been doing comedy for real?
I don't even remember. No, I've been doing comedy 4 years.
4 years?
Yeah.
Hey, man, 4 years in, I don't know who was as good as you are.
I don't know either.
One of my favorite people to see, bro.
Yeah, I mean, And you already got up on Punch after 4 years. It's pretty good, man. I try to work hard, you know, and I try to make sure that I deserve the opportunities that I get. And, I mean, I really care about doing comedy. Yeah. You know, it's... more than archery? More than anything. More than anything. And... I don't know. It was funny because it wasn't even a big old dream of mine. Yeah. I mean, I grew up watching comedy, but not. I wasn't like, oh, I want to do that one day or anything. What was the first special you saw that you're like, whoa, I want to do this? I don't know. It was. I remember like watching. I never thought that. I never thought, well, I want to do this from watching. I thought of from watching like regular people. Like when I went over, a year before I did comedy, I started going like see live comedy. I went over to Comedy Oakland. Oh yeah. When they had it above Spice Monkey. Yeah. Oh yeah. Damn. And I would just watch the comedians, and I would be like, I think I can do this, you know, like, and I'd be like, I don't think it's that hard. And then you know, it's funny. It's like, and then it's when you see like them do like whatever. Yeah. It's not when you see one do really good. Oh, okay, I got you. One do whatever. Like open mic style material. I could do that. I could do that. Okay. Yeah. And then I remember thinking like when I started going to my first open mics, like I would see somewhat decent people, and I'd be like, oh shit. And then I'd see somebody do it terribly, and I'd be like, I'm way funnier than that guy. I can do it, you know, like. And it inspires you. It does inspire you, you know. I was like. I remember the first time I seen JD, I was like, damn, I can... No, just like... JD was crushing last night. They loved him. They loved you. They loved you when you started eating the fry. Oh, this dude gave me fries on stage, bro. Oh, my God. I took some fries, man, and I don't know what it was.
I choked.
Yeah.
Something about the bacteria of the fries.
But he
and
couldn't
his
not eat
hand.
it.
I ate it, bro, and I started choking, but I tried not to show it. It was I don't know why that it was sweet potato fries. It did something to me.
Yeah.
And you know how they're like yams where they kind of
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So I was choking on stage, and I tried to play it off. I was pouring a glass of water, and man, it was gonna be bad because I could.
As like the comedians that I'm in the back of Luigi, and I'm pointing it out. We're like pointing out the stuff, and, but it didn't look bad.
Yeah.
But as us, I knew. I'm like, I've eaten stuff on stage, and at Copper Spoon all the time. I would just be like, oh, can I get that? Can I get that? It's like a drink or something.
Because this dude asked his table, "Hey, you guys want any fries? Go ahead." I'm like, "Oh, thanks."
Yeah. People love it.
Yeah. No, but that dude, I was like tripping because I was like legit choking, man.
Yeah.
And I tried to not let it show.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like doing my next bit while pouring.
Yeah, dude, it's the worst getting like something choking your throat or all of a sudden your throat gets super dry as on stage and you're just,
I've done that with pizza, but I didn't choke at Milk Bar. Someone was eating pizza. I took a slice of pizza.
Nice.
Okay.
I always try to take. Whenever someone has
Anytime,
like a big size, I'll go. Let me get a slice. Like on stage, I'll go, let me get a slice.
Why not?
And then sometimes they'll be like, "Oh, come get it after," you know. Yeah. And I'll be like, "Yeah, for sure." Why not? Yeah.
You still running your show in Oakland?
No, I'm not running any shows.
Yeah, I was.
Because Big T said it twice yesterday. I'm like, oh.
I think he's just, you know how people introduce people, right?
Yeah, that's
like
true.
he's just saying it, and I'm not gonna tell him.
Are you gonna run a show again?
If I can get something good going, like if I can get a spot that I want, like that nobody else is around, you know, that makes sense.
That's
like
true.
I don't want to just do another show in Oakland on a day that there's already shows.
Right.
Do a show in Berkeley.
There's a bunch of spots in that spot. Bex, they are open again under a different name.
All right.
I want to do somewhere closer to me, Hayward.
Oh
yeah.
Like
We'll do some shit in Hayward. Only person, another
San
person.
Leandro.
Castro Valley. Yeah.
There's only one show in Hayward.
Yeah, I know. But if I can get something going, then I'll run a show. But I'm not. I just like performing right now.
I miss your mic, dude. Every time I look towards like, okay, if it's
The one time I went, you canceled.
That I will, because I got drained. I was running open mics when I first started my first year.
Yeah.
Then through the pandemic, I did all the open mics.
Yeah,
then
you did the outside
stuff. And then when we come back,
Right, okay.
like they were like, "Oh, do you want to do this open mic?" And I'm just like, I don't want to do any more open mics.
Yeah.
Like, and I did a little bit, and then I don't know. I felt like I was just dragging it on right now. And
Okay.
So the next show you do has got to be showcase.
It's gonna be a showcase. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, shit. This has been fun, bro. I learned a lot of new stuff about you that I didn't know. First of all, any last words for our listeners and where they can follow you, subscribe, listen to any of your shit, or come to see you?
I'm always at the Copper Spoon. No, I'm always there. No.
Every day.
Just, I mean, if you really care, just follow me on IG, David D Comedy, and then just message me if you ever want to see me. I'm usually
Talk about God.
I don't always post where I'm gonna be, but I'm always trying to be somewhere, like trying to get stage time somewhere. So there's always some. You know, if I'm not booked on anything, I'm at Copper Spoon.
You say you were a regular at Copper Spoon.
I am like more regular.
You're the more regular.
I think I'll get more.
You're the in-house comedian.
I think I get up more than Brian Hicks.
Yeah.
but because he doesn't like to, you know, as much as Big T or.
I remember I used to be like me and him were like always like the two people like go to at Copper Spoon who wasn't booked but would always be on the show.
I'm always there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Like, what's up?
Every time I go, you're there.
Yeah.
That's why, you know.
they've been really good. Brian Hicks been really good to me. Big T, Chris put me up.
That's good wings to be under.
Yeah, they've been real good to me. That's like, I tell people that's like 70-80% of my stage time.
Yeah.
Hey, but the kind of crowds they bring to that little spot.
It's fucking amazing,
Even when they're not, like
Even when they're
I'm like, what the hell else was I doing?
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
It's a good time to work out material.
Any last messages to our listeners that you can send us home with?
Only vote for Bush or Clinton. There's the most entertaining ones. Nothing. I don't got no messages. Thank you for inviting me on, and yeah, we'll do it again.
We'll do it again. All right. This guy. All right, that's been a voice party.
And we're out. Wonderful.
Well, I said no problem.